Hey guys, it's Karen from the BeyondIVFBaby channel. Today I wanted to talk about something that one of you asked, and it's about metformin and why was I on metformin. Well, I was prescribed it by a reproductive immunologist. I worked with Dr. Kwak-Kim and her associates at Rosalind Franklin, based out of Chicago suburb. So what you need to know about metformin, it's commonly prescribed for women who are probably over 35 or have PCOS for sure, or if you don't have amazing glucose A1C levels. So if your A1C levels are under probably 4 or under, or if your glucose is on the low range of normal, you probably would not be prescribed, but almost everyone I know who is at that clinic is either on the 500 milligram dose or 1,000 milligram dose, which would be twice a day. I was on the 500 milligram dose and I didn't have any unusual side effects. Many people will have side effects, so you can Google those to see what it's like. If you are interested in an alternative, you can get it. Ageless RX has it. You can get a virtual consult, which is free, and you can get that medication. So that's something that I was on for at least 4 or 5 years. I haven't had it since I had my daughter. I've chosen an alternative since I am, in my late 40s, and I still have my sweet tooth. I like to eat sugar. I know I should not, but to help keep things a little bit more regulated and avoid my A1C levels putting me in the what's it called, well, I don't want to be in the pre-diabetic or might have metabolic syndrome, so I take it. Another thing you would want to make sure you check is also your thyroid hormone. The main one is TSH, but you want to check the other ones as well. I found I had Hashis, and you have to check something called TPO antibodies, and I'll talk about that in another episode. But what's very helpful about thyroid hormone is if it's not in a niche level, which is 1.5, even though if you look at a lab report, it will give a normal range up until like almost 4, and that's not a fertility friendly level. So RI or a endocrinologist will want you to have the sweet spot of as close to 1.5 as your number, as close as possible. So I am now on the dose 0.25. That's what's working for me, but I've been on every dose during my fertility journey from that dose to up to 0.75, and I've also had it be on instead of Synthroid or levothyroxine, which is for hypothyroid, I've also been on the hyperthyroid side too. So sometimes I've had variability. The next thing I want to talk to you about is the medication berberine. So I will also share the link to the brand I like and use, because this is the plant-based alternative to metformin. I've noticed that my glucose and A1C levels have still been like really good, probably better since I'm off the fertility journey. So that might be something you might want to try and see. I don't know if some women have any kind of negative effect with it, but I never had a problem with either one. The last thing I want to tell you that you might want to look into trying is something called NAD plus as an injection. I know, scary, but this is something you can also get from Ageless RX or other companies, but I've had good luck with them. I haven't had a problem with deliveries or anything like that. It is costly. It's about $220 a month on auto subscription. But I found that when my daughter was about 10 months old, I was going to have to enter the workforce, sooner rather than later as a full-time employee. I need to heighten my cognitive functioning because I'm still on very little sleep and a lot of responsibility, going through a divorce and things like that. So definitely need that extra boost. As a side benefit. I notice that when I have my withdrawal bleed or period, I am on progesterone. So when you stop taking that, you will get a withdrawal bleed. Um, I will get it sooner. So I don't have to take a full 10-day course of progesterone. I will start to get a withdrawal bleed like by day 8 or day 9. I've noticed that on the NAD injectable. So it is touted in the medical journals that it has a fertility benefit. I can say I had been on it, not when I had my daughter, but I had been on it prior in its other form. Back a couple of years ago, it was only available in capsule or a powder form that you would just put in your mouth, let it dissolve on your tongue, and then swallow. So maybe it does something, maybe it doesn't, but I was willing to give it a shot. Even in the capsule form, it's one of the pricier supplements you can take, but you know, it's worth a shot to try. Of course, it's a lot cheaper than doing an IVF procedure. So my thing would be like, why not? You can read about it to see what you think. Again, I will share the link to the brands I use for the NAD Plus injection, to the metformin, and you would only be on a thyroid hormone if you need it. Of course, I've heard there are alternatives. I've never tried any of those, so I can't speak to any of that. So that's all I have for today. Until next time, I want you to stay positive and hopeful, and feel free to share a comment or a question about some topic that you would like me to cover, or if you have a question about my protocol, which you would like me to cover. So until next time, I will see you then, and I can't wait to hear your questions. Ciao!